Okay, today we're going to be looking at a chemical reaction. Now, if you have a physical change, that means you can reverse it. So, for example, if you freeze water and turn it into an ice cube, we can take the ice cube out of the freezer and it will go back into water again. That is a physical change. If you have a chemical change, which is the same as a chemical reaction, that is not reversible. So, for example, if you burn a piece of paper, you can't get your paper back again. When you make cheese from milk, you can't get the milk back again. So today we're going to have a look at chemical reaction. We're going to add three reactants. Reactants are what you start out with. So we have some sodium bicarbonate, we have a red liquid called phenol red, and we have some calcium chloride. We're going to put them into a Ziploc bag and see what happens. So this is what the reaction looks like. The bag has inflated because of the gas. If you feel the bag, it's quite warm. During the chemical reaction, you saw a lot of bubbles of gas being produced, and the color has changed from red to yellow. So this is a chemical reaction. Now, this chemical reaction, because it got hot, is said to be exothermic. If the reaction had got cold, then it would have been endothermic. And it's a chemical reaction because we cannot go back to the three reactants that we started out. Okay, enzymes are added to milk to make cheese, and we've looked at enzymes in the digestive system. And enzymes actually speed up chemical reactions. So our food is broken down by enzymes, and the chemical reactions that break down the food are speeded up. So both enzymes and catalysts speed up chemical reactions, but the difference between an enzyme and a catalyst is that enzymes are made by living things. Now we are going to look at a chemical reaction of hydrogen peroxide, which is water with an extra oxygen on it, and the hydrogen peroxide will break down to form water and oxygen gas. Now, this is an example of a chemical equation. Chemical equation, on the left-hand side, we have the reactants, what we start with. On the right-hand side, we have the products, what we end up with. And we're going to be investigating which food is going to speed up this reaction the most. So which food contains the best enzymes to speed up this reaction? Now, hydrogen peroxide looks just like water. It's colorless liquid. We're going to be looking at 4 foods: potato, liver, and that's just a tiny bit of bread, and celery. So we have our hydrogen peroxide in 4 test tubes, and we're going to add these different foods to see which speeds it up. We will know if it's a fast reaction because oxygen will be produced and we will see lots of bubbles. Okay, now liver contains the best enzyme, the best catalyst for this reaction. You can see we get lots of bubbles of oxygen gas. Potato, we get quite a few bubbles. Celery, a few bubbles. Looking at the bread, it doesn't appear that it contains any enzymes, or maybe a few, but this seems to have the smallest number of bubbles. So liver, bubbles going all the way up the tube. Definitely the best catalyst. Okay, to test for oxygen, we're going to put a glowing splint inside the test tube. And as you can see, it's not on fire yet, but when we put it in the oxygen, it catches on fire again. So the oxygen will relight a piece of wood that's glowing but not on fire. It will make it catch on fire again, even when you put it into a wet liquid. That's the test for oxygen.